Hello my beautiful angels, really exciting. This is an extra video. Basically, if you weren't aware, then I'm really excited to be able to tell you that I have a podcast. It's really cute. It's called Getting Lippy With, and I thought that maybe it'd be quite nice to have the episodes that feature Mark Ferris, Soph Does Nails, and just any guest that we have. I would like to put some of the episode on my channel so you can watch them. And basically, this episode today is going to be played, but it's only going to be half of the episode because, angels, what you need to do is to watch the rest of the episode. I thought I'd make it shorter so you can watch a shorter version on here, and then if you want to go watch the full episode, go over to, I'll leave it down below, but at Getting Lippy With on all social media. So if you want to follow us on Spotify and listen to the full episode, follow us on YouTube and watch it on YouTube. You can watch the full episode, and also follow us on Apple Podcasts and you can listen to the full episode. So I thought that I'd leave 20 minutes of the episode on here, and you can go over to all the apps that I told you, go over to Spotify, go over to Apple, go over to YouTube and watch the whole episode. I just thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of this on my channel, and it's an extra video a week. So this video will be here every single Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. I just thought it'd be a nice video to just upload, and then the next podcast will be on Sunday. So every Sunday I have a new podcast at 10 o'clock in the morning. I just feel like it's a nice way you can watch on my channel as well. So without further ado, let's get into the podcast, Getting Lippy With. Hello friends, and welcome to Getting Lippy With. My name is Imogen Hudson, and here is a space where we can vent, share and chat about everything that we go through daily in the hopes of helping other people deal with their struggles. So make sure you subscribe to stay tuned with everything Getting Lippy With, and grab your cuppa, biscuits, chocolate, whatever floats your boat, because whoever you are, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, let's get lippy. So for this episode, it's just going to be me, which I actually am really excited to be able to do because I can just get to share with you a little bit about me. We can talk and get to know each other because hopefully then you'll feel more comfortable to listen to all the other ones where we've got really exciting guests. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about me so that you get to know me, and then hopefully we can have this big friendship over this podcast. So my name is Imogen Hudson. I'm 26. Oh, I can't believe I'm admitting my age. I think you're not meant to do that, but it's fine. I'm 26 and I am a full-time YouTuber and influencer. That feels so strange to even say. I feel so lucky to be able to say that. That's actually crazy. So, growing up, I was always a performer. I went to stage schools growing up. I was always doing acting, singing and dancing, you name it, put me in front of it and I wanted to perform. I was always a bit of an extrovert. And I actually went to stage school in London to do my degree. I did my degree in professional dance and musical theatre. I did that in singing, dancing and acting every single day, 5 days a week, start at 8:20, and it was intense. It was amazing, but it was always something I knew I wanted to do. However, the topic I want to talk to you about today is confidence. And later on, if you stay tuned, I've actually asked a lot of you to send me in to the Hun Hotline phone so you can get your questions in and I can answer some of those questions. So make sure you stay tuned. And thanks so much for asking all the questions. So excited to answer them. But I wanted to talk to you a bit about my confidence journey because I get a lot of people ask me how I'm so confident and how I became so confident. So I feel as though I need to tell you from the start to where I am now. So, growing up, as I said, I was always a bit of an extrovert, which gives you a lot of backlash in the sense that some people can be a little bit judgmental. Some people think because you like performing and because I was loud, I was always quite loud, that I'm confident naturally. However, I was extremely sensitive. I was a very insecure child, and I actually grew up to be quite an insecure teenager too, which is completely normal. Now, I feel as though I'm on a good path to my confidence journey, and I feel as though if I can tell you how I've got there, then hopefully I can help you. I mean, sitting here and talking about myself is maybe a little bit, people are going to be like, you're arrogant or you're just talking about yourself, but that is the way I've become so confident in my skin because I've been able to be confident in what I'm good at, and I feel like I'm good at talking, and I also feel like I'm good at being in front of the camera and a microphone, so this is just pretty much perfect. My confidence journey began from growing up and always being targeted for being the loud one, and if the teachers would go out of the classroom, they'd come in, and if they heard one voice, it was me, and they'd be like, Imogen, out, and I'd be like, no. I did dance growing up, and I actually was in the Royal Ballet Associates for 4 years growing up. And this is something which is really poignant and really stayed in my brain.
Throughout the process of auditioning, a lot of the girls in my dance school weren't fortunate enough to get in, and they were still so talented, but I was one of the lucky ones. And I remember feeling so lucky. But my mum always said to me, Imogen, it's not luck, it's talent. And because I was so insecure, I always thought, no, it's got to be luck, it's got to be luck, it can't be talent. And I used to go to a dance school where my dance teacher was very much aware that I was the loud one. And she was very much like, oh, Imogen can handle it. Imogen will deal with it. So I remember this one time, I was lucky enough to get into the associates, and it was the 3rd year running. And she went up to one of the mums in front of my mum and was like, oh, by the way, don't worry about it. So-and-so didn't get in, but Imogen only got in because of luck. And my mum was there, and my mum was like, oh, how could you say that? How could you say that about my daughter? So my mum pulled my old dance teacher aside and said, how can you say that? You should be proud, and you should be telling other mums that it's okay for their daughters to not get in, but you shouldn't have to put someone else down for you to build up confidence of other people. And that's something I want to talk about later. But my mum said, you shouldn't have to do that. And the teacher said, well, I know Imogen can take it. I know that Imogen knows that she didn't get in because of luck. And my mum was like, but she doesn't. She doesn't actually know that. And my dance teacher was like, yes, she does. She's so confident. And my mum was like, well, clearly you don't know your students then, because Imogen is not confidence. It is completely fake confidence. And that leads me on to my fake confidence. I have 2 very extrovert parents. They are amazing. They are so incredible, and I absolutely adore them. And they genuinely, if they were here, they would love it to talk for England, because they have so many stories. But growing up, I used to fake confidence because just like every single person out there, I'm sure so many of you listening understand and can relate with this. It is so easy to put yourself down and praise other people, because we see ourselves every single day. We see the downsides of ourselves every day. We're like, oh, this is negative, this is bad. And we're so easily able to put ourselves down. But with other people, we can be like, you're amazing, you're so talented, you're so beautiful, all these other things. And growing up, I was very insecure. Maybe because I saw such a beautiful person in my mum, and I saw that she was quite insecure from her childhood. So I think that I took myself as being insecure, because I thought, how can my mum be insecure? She's so amazing. And growing up, I really, really did put myself down. I promise you, I can't even explain it to you. Walking to the shops, even at like 14, 15, growing up, I thought everyone was staring at me. Like, honestly, I'm not like a celebrity. I'm no one. Like, who's going to be looking at you, Imogen? I genuinely thought, oh my goodness, they're all going to see me without makeup. They're going to think I'm awful. They're going to think I'm ugly. Who? Like, honestly, if I look back now, and if I knew what I knew now about myself and about who I am as a person and about what I stand true to, I would never have held back from so many things growing up. And that's one thing I'm so glad to be able to talk to all of you about, because I think that we hold back from so many things just purely from the judgment of others. Like, honestly, there's so many things, auditions, there's so many things I should have done at school, there's so many things I should have done out of school that I didn't do because of the fear of being judged. And that is something which I wish I could have learned when I was 12 or 13 or 7 or 15, 16. And it's actually something I've only probably grasped in the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years. And I'll tell you a bit about how that came about. So, just quickly before we begin with talking about that, I just want to say to you all that please, please, please don't not do something because you're thinking that other people will judge you. Because I promise you now, in school, you'll probably leave with 3 friends. You'll probably leave with 3 best friends, and you think you've got loads of friends around you in school, but actually growing up, you lose friends because you go on different paths and different journeys, and that's okay. But holding back from doing something that may be your talent, that may be something which will find your path in life, just because you think that Millie's going to laugh at you or Bob's going to take the mick out of you, it doesn't matter. Honestly, if I can urge you to listen to me, if I can help any one of you not be the person I was when I was 13, because I don't want you to fear standing out. What is that? It's that saying, don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. And it's so true. And I know it's so silly, like using a quote, but honestly, it helps me so much now, because I'm like, do you know what? I don't actually care what anyone thinks about me that isn't someone I care about. Like obviously my best friends, my family, my fiance, if they were to say something like, oh Imogen, I don't think you should do that, then I'd be like, okay, I completely understand where you're coming from because you have a valid point. But most of the time, the people that are judging you are the people that want to do what you're doing. They're the people that are like, I wish I was doing YouTube actually, because I know a lot of you message me and you say you want to do YouTube but you don't want to do it because people in your class might take the mick out of you. Well, actually, the only reason they're taking the mick out of you is because they're jealous. They're jealous that you have the confidence to do something that they wouldn't do. And I want to say one thing to my younger self. I'm actually grateful that I had the chance to have fake confidence, because fake confidence actually got me to where I am now. Fake confidence gave me a backbone, and fake confidence made me the person I am now. And I promise you, when I mean fake confidence, was me just putting on a facade and putting on this, okay, we're going to perform. This is time now. You've got this. You're going to do it. Even though inside, I promise you, it was like this. My ballet teacher always used to say to me, you're like a graceful swan on the top. You look like you know what you're doing. You're like, yes, I am just performing. But underneath the water, underneath the surface, you're like paddling and just like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I need to come up for air. Like, honestly, that's how it was growing up. And now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you that I'm the most confident person in the world, but I can actually sit here and say to you 3, maybe 5 qualities about myself that I love. And I'm going to list them now. So, please don't think I'm arrogant, because this is the whole, topic of this, me talking to you about this. This is me actually just genuinely being honest with you and finding 3 things that I love about myself. Before I tell you what I like about myself and what I actually love that I have, I want you to take the time now to get a pen and paper, get your phone, get your notes, and grab that and put down one thing that you love about yourself. Now, I know you're probably sitting there and being like, oh, I don't want to put something I love about myself. Like, I don't love anything about myself. Maybe some of you are thinking that, and that's okay. But try and try and try throughout the course of this podcast, maybe try and pinpoint one thing that maybe makes you different. Maybe your friends tell you you have the most beautiful heart. Maybe your mum tells you that you're really kind and caring. Maybe you love your eyes. Maybe you love your legs. Maybe you love that you're good at sport. Maybe there's something that you can't really see right now, which hopefully by the end of this podcast, I can help you see. Because do you know what? I think that we focus on everyone else's good attributes. We forget our own, and we live in this life for ourselves. And I think that it's so important to be able to be at one with yourself and be happy in your skin, because you're not going to be in anyone else's skin. It's only yourself that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So you've got to start getting used to her or him, and you've got to start getting ready to be able to compliment yourself. It's not arrogance. It's not you being like, I love myself. It's being able to say, do you know what? My name's Imogen, and I'm going to tell you 3 things that I like about myself. So let's do this. I haven't prepared this, but I'm just going to say. So I am quite funny. I actually think I'm quite funny. Like, some people watch my videos and they say that they think I'm funny, and I'm like, do you know what? When I'm editing myself, I actually think I'm hilarious. And that's not me being actually, a comedy, like a stand-up comedian where I'm really good at that. That's me just actually being like, maybe I'm funny because I'm really bad at doing things, or maybe I'm funny because I go wrong. Like, I did a Primark haul and I actually fell off the bed, and I kept that in. I actually tried to show someone, like I tried to show my subscribers, my Huns, the top, and I went, oh yeah, this is the top, and I fell off the bed, and I really actually got a bruise on my leg, and I was so embarrassed, and I kept that in. And when I was editing it back, I was like, do you know what? That's what makes me funny, because I actually don't care, and I want to show people that I'm real and that everyone goes wrong, and I'm not this perfect image behind a camera, because trust me, I'm definitely not, and I know that no one thinks that, but I'm just saying. Okay, second thing, I am very loyal. That's one thing I will pride myself on. I am so loyal that when you are my best friend, you are in my life, you're my friend, you're anyone, you are my friend, my best friend, my family member. I love you. I'm loyal to you. I'll be loyal to you to the ends of the earth. That's one thing I pride myself on. And thirdly, I'm very affectionate. I'm so affectionate, maybe too affectionate, but it's fine. But I can't even say that I want to not be affectionate, because I love being affectionate. My family have always brought me up with cuddles all the time, and I know that a lot of you are probably listening like, oh, I'm not affectionate, I don't want to be affectionate, but that's okay. Like, these are just the 3 things that make me me, and these are 3 things that I like about myself. So I just wanted to tell you that, because I don't want you to think that you can't sit there and say to yourself, listen, hun, this is what you're good at and this is what makes you you, because we have to look in a mirror every single day, and if we look at it and just look at negativity, it's going to make your life really difficult. So I really hope that at the end of this podcast you can actually write something down about yourself that you like about yourself, and please let me know if you do. Make sure you tag us at Hello Getting Lippy With, and hello to me. Tag me in anything that you find about yourself that you love, because I'd be really grateful to think to myself that I've helped at least one of you. So, following on from that, I wanted to kind of discuss how I became the person I am now and what helped me with my self-confidence. So, it's something I really want to touch on in another podcast with another guest who I've got coming on, which I'm super excited about. So basically, for a long time during my period of being in university, I actually was admitted to hospital. I stayed in hospital for a good, solid couple of months, on off for basically a year, and it was a really, really difficult time. Now, if I'm honest, I really don't want you to all have to go through what I went through to gain confidence. So if you can take anything from this podcast, I would be so happy. It's a joke. So basically, I was in hospital for something to do with my stomach condition, which I won't go into now because I would just talk for England about it and I'd probably bored you already anyway. But basically, I was in hospital and I was staying in there for a long time, and I really did hit rock bottom with my confidence, my insecurities, everything. I was on my own, having to deal with being in my own head, not having anyone to talk to. You can only have visitors from 4 till 8, and I couldn't expect my parents to come up all the time. It was in London. They don't live in London, and they did come up as much as they could, but they have their own lives to lead as well. And I was at rock bottom. I was honestly in my own head every single day, with tubes up my nose, tubes coming out of my arms, everywhere. And really, I felt the most unattractive in hospital I've ever felt in my life. And I'm actually smiling talking about this now, because it's like so amazing that I've come out the other side, because I can actually remember that feeling, being in hospital and being like, oh my goodness. Like the thought of having a boyfriend or anything like that made me feel physically sick. I was single for 5 years, which I'll go into in another podcast, shock horror, but we'll talk about relationships and stuff like that in another podcast. But I couldn't think of anything worse than being with someone, because I thought to myself, who is going to want to be with you? Now, being in hospital, you realise that your health and your happiness is actually the only thing you have. I love my family, I love my fiance, I love my friends, but being in hospital, you're on your own. You are completely on your own. You are subjectified to all these elements around you. You can't talk to everyone because your curtains are always closed, and you are genuinely just talking to people about your health. And when your health goes, you think, my goodness, I've wasted a long time not living my life to the fullest. Because of what? Because of thinking other people are going to be judging me, thinking other people are going to be saying stuff about me. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, Imogen, you've actually lost so many years. And I did regret a little bit, but then I thought also, I'm not going to sit here and regret. I'm going to try and bring myself out of this dark hole. And actually, that was the start of my self-confidence. Honestly, hospital made me. It broke me, but at the same time, it made me. And I'm so happy and glad that my life went on that path, because I feel happy in my own skin now. Not, I don't think I'm this supermodel. I don't sit here and think that, but I'm happy with who I am. And obviously I still have insecurities. Every single person in the world has insecurities, and that's okay. But being in hospital, it just made me realise that I need to get myself better. And on the process of getting myself better, I need to be happy in my own skin. Now, going from a person who would never have ventured out of the house without wearing big sunglasses, because I thought, oh my God, everyone's looking at me, when they weren't, I became this person where I was like, do you know what? No one can break me lower than what I'm broken to now. So I'm going to build up my confidence. And that was every single day. And confidence isn't something which happens overnight. It's something which we have to give ourselves some time. And honestly, sitting in a hospital bed, it gave me time. Trust me, it gave me time. I planned so many things for when I was out. I was like, right, the first thing I want to do, I want to go to the cinema on my own. And I remember writing a blog post about it when I had a blog, because I didn't have a YouTube at the time. And I wrote a blog and I was like, wow, I actually went to the cinema on my own, and it was scary. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, I've done that before and that's not a big thing. But for me, that was a target. And I wrote little targets I wanted to hit. And I slowly started looking at these targets and I was like, I've done them. I've done that. I've done that. And it was so strange for me to be able to say I went to dinner on my own. And you know what? It was at Nando's and the person was like, table for one. I was like, yeah, table for one. And he actually pitied me that much. He gave me discount on my meal. I was like, mate, I've chosen to come here on my own. Like, I haven't been stood up, and not being nasty to anyone that has been stood up, because you can go for dinner on your own, even if you are stood up. Don't waste a good dinner. But I mean, as in, it was so worrying that a man actually thought that it was so horrible for a woman to be out on their own, you know. My goodness, you're going for dinner on your own. I thought, this is me growing, and this is me learning things about myself. And I remember thinking at the time, oh God, everyone's staring at me. And then I remember thinking, who cares? Who actually cares? These people I'm never going to see again. And even if I saw them again, I'd be like, wow, it says more about someone else as a person than it does about you. If someone wants to sit there and think, oh my God, that girl, she's on her own. Like, she's actually sitting there at dinner on her own. So what? Actually, so what? And for people to actually have that in their body, to want to be nasty, to bitch about someone, to actually slag someone off or judge them for something which they've never walked in my shoes, as I've never walked in theirs. So for them to do that, honestly, the one thing that makes me feel better in every situation is think, I'm not you. If there's someone looking at you and being nasty, I'm so happy I'm not them. I'm so happy. I think, wow, I'm not judgmental like that, and I hope I never am judgmental like that. So actually, the one thing you have to do is differentiate yourself from them and think, right, you're judgy, I'm not. I'm on my own. You're judging me for being on my own. You're the reason I didn't go out for dinner on my own for so many years, but now I'm here and I'm proving to all of you that I can do it. You need to look at the people that put you down and actually see them as your motivators. Like, they're the ones that should motivate you to be a better version of yourself. Like, they're looking at you, judging you, and you should be like, actually, do you know what? Your negative energy is going to make me a positive person because I never want to end up like you. And I know that's really sad to say, but it's actually true. You've got to look at people and think, right, I am going to be happy. I'm going to find some confidence in myself. And again, it's a slow process, and hopefully throughout the course of these podcasts, I can help you, at least one of you. If I can make one of you more confident, I mean, I hope I can make more than one of you more confident, but yeah. So that leads me on to the Hun Hotline, answering the questions you sent in.
Hello, honeys. You have reached Hun Hotline. Please leave your message after the tone.
It is very exciting. All of my Huns can get involved. Basically, you've sent some amazing questions to the Hun Hotline, which is hello@gettinglippywith.com. That is the email address, and basically it means that you can get involved with our topics of conversation. So that is the end of episode 1 of Getting Lippy With. I'm so sad, but I cannot wait until next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because it really does help us here over at Getting Lippy With. And if you could leave us a review, I'd be so grateful, because honestly, it really helps us make more future podcasts just like this, and we're creating a family, so just get involved and get joining this family. So also make sure you follow Getting Lippy With on Instagram for future episodes, and for your chance to get involved, make sure you go and follow them because you'll get the email and you can send us voice notes. Also, each week we'll be announcing the podcast topic, so make sure you follow them. So until next time, I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna leave you. Thank you.